we are back with yet another one. I told y'all I'm gonna try my best to really jump in live when I can jump on live. You feel me? Right now, as you can see, we in transition. Actually, this is something, but when you riding and you going places, this is actually the best time to like listen to podcasts, a lot of different things like that. Because I'm telling you right now, you'll be able to elevate your life and lifestyle. Because sometimes we don't realize it was a study I seen that most people spend like the bulk of their time actually in the car. So what they were saying is instead of utilizing that time by, typical stuff like listening to music or podcasts or things of that nature, lock in to something that's going to educate and inform you. You don't realize that could be the same amount of time that you spent at a university from just traveling. Like mainly if you somebody to do like long commutes, like an hour, 45 minutes. Like right now, my commute is looking like an hour and 9 minutes. So for me, I was like, you know what? YouTube is something that I really want to focus on and get growth from. So the only way to get growth from something is spend more time on it. You know what I mean? I got a lot going on that doesn't really allow me to spend a lot of time on, this type of platform. But I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's always just like with working out. It's about making it a priority. I never made something like this a priority, but I'm so close to where I want to be with watch time. I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and rock it out. Let's go ahead and rock it out. Like I said on the last live, me personally, I'm here to really just document. I want to see where I am at the age of 35. I just started 35. I've done a great job at documenting for a very, very long time. So for me, I said, let's up the ante when it comes down to documentation. I spend a lot of time doing a lot of different things. A lot of it I don't share online. So me personally, now some of it I'm willing to share online. Little shit like what I do, my personal mindset towards certain things. When it comes down to motivation, sales, building a brand, training. This just to give you a little bit more of me. So my objective at the end of the day is really to build a community where we can really have a conversation. And that's why the title says, let's have a conversation. You get what I mean? Because I feel like one thing we should be doing is having more conversations that we don't have at the end of the day. You feel me? So do me a favor and understand this one thing. Once we jump on live, it's always about having a conversation. Like, write how you feel in the comments, little things like that. Like I said, I'm not here to just talk to myself or rant or, make it seem like I know everything. You feel me? But I do want to share a little bit of what I know. You feel me? Like I said, you're going to see a transition within my profile. Very, very big transition. You see a lot of fitness. For those who didn't catch the first live, me personally, I'm not going to fake. Like a lot of those videos I've been doing over the years, for the past 5 years, I would say. Actually, for real, 2 years out of the 5 is really taken out. So I'm saying, technically, if we want to be a cumulative of 7 years of what I've been doing as far as training. Some of the things that I've shown are things that I did in my 20s. Some of the things I've shown are things that I did in my 30s when it comes down to fitness. Every time I talk about fitness, me personally, I'm not talking relative to just what I've learned. I'm talking relative to what I'm implementing. So like, if you really watch some of the videos, I'm really going into context of different levels because I train different ways. Like in certain seasons, I'm focused on getting stronger. Like right now, I'm focused on getting stronger. I want to get my body a lot stronger, so we gonna bang some weights. When spring and summer comes around, not really always focused on lifting the heaviest. My objective becomes movement. So because of all the wear and tear that I put on my body from the heavy lifting, that's when I veer into resistance bands, body weight training, and little things like that. I might do higher repetitions and then go from there. You'll see a lot of that within my videos. So remember, despite the information I'm putting out now, if you really want to learn about fitness and what I do and want to understand what I do and how I do it, I highly recommend just going back and watching the videos. They're going to be scattered, don't get me wrong. Like one video At that point, I might have been focused on getting stronger. The video after that, I might be talking to you about the benefits of resistance bands. You know what I mean? So you're going to get a lot of different contexts. But like I said, now my focus is, because I don't really consider myself a content creator. Like, I've created content over time, but a lot of the content that I've created, to be real with you, was to get sales from personal training. You know what I mean? So a lot of the reason why I've been able to make so much content and actually documented a lot of what I do is, one, I did want to see myself in a different view. Like, sometimes when you're exercising, you don't realize that you feel a way of what you're doing, but that don't necessarily mean that you're doing what you think you're doing. So the whole point of me starting to document at this whole start of everything wasn't just to really to get clients, but it's really just to see from a video standpoint, me putting up a tripod, me having a camera, showing what I'm doing, and then me documenting what I'm doing as well. Because for me, like I said, I was kind of forced into content because I wasn't a fan of it at first when I first was doing it. So me doing it was odd. Like, it took a while for me to really get comfortable with doing it. I'm more of a private person. I don't really like everybody in my business, and I personally don't give a shit about a lot of people, how people feel, how people think at the end of the day. It doesn't really change who I am or who I'm going to be. You know what I'm saying? And then I do feel like a lot of information that you do take in on social media is pointless, from people's comments, just trying to throw you off your scale. And then I think a lot of people don't realize, within doing these things, you may feel as though, once again, it's pointless, like I do, and it's a waste of time, but you don't really realize how a lot of that information really does play on your psyche. So you got to be careful about what type of information you take in and what information you take in. And that's another reason why I really don't like spending a lot of time on social media, and I've slowly been getting out of it for real. Like, it's like mainly because of the landscaping. The landscaping itself has really shown me a lot, where it's like, man, put the motherfucking phone down, man. Get out here, connect with people. I connect with people a lot easier in person than I do on social media. Because social media, when you're doing, it's like you're trying to create a narrative. And for me, I'm very authentic in person. It's really hard for me to have certain conversations or give certain information by just turning the camera on. Mainly when it comes down to fitness. I always say a lot of my best content has come from me training with one of my clients. Because for me, you know, you want to make sure your client is getting the right information and you're in that mood where you can have the right conversation, more so than you're trying to have a conversation in for you. Like I said, you just on social media. So that's one thing that it took a while for me to get over the hump. So this is actually a backstory of me getting into it. And just to get you to understand, I really don't care for social media. I never cared for social media. To this day, I still don't. But like I said, I've seen so many benefits from doing it. It's like, man, why stop when I've been doing it so long, man? I have, even though I'm using something like a phone right now, I put a lot of money into cameras. I've invested over like $15,000 into being able to create content, from a computer to the 2 cameras that I have. It's so much stuff that I have that for me, where it's kind of like I'm so deep in the game, like, why stop? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this the whole point of this now, for real, is like, fuck it, let's get monetized, man. Let's entertain these people. Let's educate these people, because a lot of people do come on, you know, social media for education. And I do feel like I've learned a lot, to a point that if you watch my videos and you really listen and implement the stuff that I'm giving you, you can get a lot of gain. You know what I'm saying? For a great example, when we talk about fitness. Actually, let's break down a few things when it comes down to fitness. Fitness, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate. They overcomplicate it because you really don't know what you're going to get out of it. Like, I really understand for those who starting, never had the physique that they want, have that idea of building that physique in their mind, and don't know where to start. I feel like people overcomplicate it. The first thing you really need to do is just start. It's just jump into it. Like, don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't outwork yourself. Don't outthink it. Just do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Do it and focus on the things that you struggle with the most. So a great example is if right now you struggle with really going to the gym. The first thing you really need to make a priority is going to the gym. Don't worry about what's the best vegetable to eat. You ain't even really got to worry about nutrition for the first start, because your biggest issue is going to the gym. And going to the gym is going to play a huge role in you getting results. I hate people just be like, 90% of it is nutrition. It's a balance of everything. It's a balance of nutrition. It's a balance of training. It's a balance of recovery. You need to maximize all these areas. It's just not a one size fits all thing. I know some people that eat exceptionally well, but because they don't train hard, because they don't focus on recovery, they don't get the results that they're looking for. It's a collective of things that you need to focus on in order to get in great shape. But I feel like the biggest issue with people getting in great shape is just starting. Another thing I feel like throws people off is having unrealistic expectations. But I can understand why, as considering me being a professional, I can understand why most people expectations aren't like, they don't get what they want from what they expect, because sometimes they're taking in a collective of information that contradicts each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck wants to how can I put this? Who wants to invest a bunch of time in thinking that it was going to work? So for example, you've seen something work for somebody else, you implemented everything that they said do, and you still didn't get results. Like, who wants to go through that? Like, that's so frustrating. And I can see why some people get in their mind and think that after trying so many different things that contradict each other or are inconsistent, and them being consistent with these things because of the wrong information, whatever the case may be, they don't get what they want. It leads to frustration, and it leads to them just wanting to say, forget it. Don't say forget it. Like one, when it comes to fitness, this isn't something that's overnight. Despite how many stories you've seen of someone doing this and now they're in great shape, or they took this and now, like, fuck all that, man. Don't worry about what other people are doing, because they're not you. You following a personal trainer and just taking the tips of what they're doing isn't necessarily going to get you in shape. It's not going to necessarily get you what you want. You know what I'm saying? So I need us to understand that it's really about finding what works for you. You know what I'm saying? You need to find out what works best for you. That's very important. I can't stress that enough. The more you focus on what works best for you, the easier it is for you to really get what you want. And the easiest way to do this is by, one, staying consistent, and two, collecting data. You have to collect data. Everybody's objective, well, everybody's strategy to collecting data can be different. My strategy has been recording my workouts. My strategy has been, like I said, recording my workouts. Another one has been, taking pictures of my food. I don't use things like MyFitnessPal, because for me, I just don't do well with just putting everything in. You get what I'm saying? Then going from there, another thing I do, I say record workouts, take pictures of my food. I do this from time to time. I will actually use my fitness, not MyFitnessPal, but my Apple Watch, to actually record how many steps I'm taking, how many calories I'm so-called burning, because I feel like the Apple Watch at the end of the day is really inconsistent. Because I always try to say, for me, I don't press workout, and I work out for an hour every time eating money. Sometimes I work out for an hour and 30 minutes, and it be having me in tears where after looking at my watch, after working out for an hour and 30 minutes, it say I only worked out for like 10, 15 minutes. And for me, my Apple Watch, since I got it, doesn't allow me to store, not store, but every time I click the workout part, after like 5-10 minutes, it pauses the workout. So after a while, I was kind of like, fuck it. But all in all, where I'm getting at with this is you have to get some type of documentation and focus on documenting yourself the right way, whatever way that may be. If you work with somebody like me, I help find things that you can do to properly document, and we use those to, to collect data, and based upon the data that we do, we make our proper adjustments. But a lot of people love to wing it and think that winging it is the best way to go. But I tell people, in order to get the best results, it's a lot better to know what you're doing and how to do it. And the best way to do that is by collecting data. That's going to be very important. Collect data, whether it be from the Apple Watch, whether it be from jotting down what you ate from MyFitnessPal, whether it be you having a personal a journal, and you write down your exercises, how long you train, how much weight you lifted, how many reps you did, how many sets you did. All in all, just do me a favor and make sure you focus on documentation. Documentation is going to be everything, and it's going to help you accelerate the process of you getting great results. Because I always say this, it's a lot easier to get a better test score if you have to take the test again if you saw the answers you really got wrong. You know what I'm saying? You already see that you know this information, but you can see that you don't know this information. So in that case, if you focus on that information, then guess what? We can get better and we can get what we want from our results. But like I said, I don't want you to focus on overcomplicating things, because once you overcomplicate it, you just stress yourself out even more for no reason. So once again, do not focus on just doing what someone else do and think that you're going to get great results. Really lock in and focus on what works best for you to really point you in all the right directions. You know what I'm saying? But another thing I want you to focus on that kind of helps you out is really going in with a game plan. Like, a lot of people don't realize when it comes down to fitness isn't just going to the gym and moving. Like, don't get me wrong, I do tell you to focus on motion, mainly if you're someone who hasn't been moving. But movement itself isn't just the end-all be-all. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a game plan. That's another reason why I say, when you go to the gym and you someone who hasn't started, you can start off with something as simple as push, pull, and legs. Push is when you're working chest, shoulders, and triceps. And pull is when you're working back and biceps. And then going from there, we're going to just hit legs and abs. When you hit legs consist of hamstrings, quads, calves, and glutes. You need to hit all those areas when you focusing on legs. And when we implement abs, I always say focus on doing abs before you start your routine. You can do 2 to 3 ab workouts, go straight into what you do, you'll be a happy camper. Because what most people fail to realize when trying to get in great shape is they generally want to focus on a few areas. Like, they want to work on arms, they want to work on chest, they want to work on abs. But what most people don't realize is when you focus on getting the body stronger as a collective, guess what? You can still get those areas. You can still get results in those areas like you want and see the improvements that you want. Because I want you to understand, at the end of the day, you cannot spot train. You can't. You can't just say, oh, I want to work abs and just train abs and think you're going to have a six-pack. If you have a higher body fat percentage, I need you to understand you need to drop the body fat percentage and then kind of move from there. Like I said, for anybody that's, tapped in, drop your questions if you have any questions. Also, for those watching this, make sure you do me a favor and drop a 7 in the comments to show that you're actually taking the information. But like I said, the more you comment, I read the comments at the end of the day. Drop down comments if you have questions. And then what I'll do is, at the end of the day, if I can't just answer it in this, then I'll make another video about it at the end of the day. But like I said, my whole point of jumping on live, once again, is I want to get monetized. If I'm going to make content, I don't want to just make content to a point, and I keep hearing that YouTube pays. I've been able to build a solid following on Instagram, but I've been so inconsistent with Instagram. So I was like, you know what? Since I'm inconsistent with Instagram and everybody says YouTube pays, and even when I'm out and about, people always say, you should have a YouTube, you should have a YouTube, you should have a YouTube. And I've been very inconsistent over the years to build my YouTube platform, even though I've gotten to 1,000 subscribers, I've been seeing people that put in way more time than me, and they don't have half the subscribers that I have, nor do they have the watch time. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should stop bullshitting on it and really just focus on it to see where it goes. You get what I'm saying? If I really focus on a whole year, or I really dedicate a whole year to creating content to educate people, and then jump on lives to educate people, and just share my experience when it comes down to fitness, landscaping, and just overall life, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll be able to make something more out of it, to a point that we're not just spending time and investing time on it. It ain't really getting too much from it. Because I'm gonna be real with you, the amount of time that I've invested into social media, me personally, I don't really feel like I've gotten what I should get from it. You feel me? So for me, like I said, I'm dialed in, locked in. Let's get it. This ain't no damn New Year's resolution. It's just I click my profile, seen that I got 300 watch hours. I need 3,000 watch hours. I've been able to get 300 watch hours without really doing anything, but just posting old content. So I'm like, you know what? I've gotten this far with it. Let's keep rolling. You get what I'm saying? And then once again, so many people have told me, jump on YouTube and it's for you. You're funny, like, and all this other stuff. You're educational. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just go ahead and do it. If I'm built from the camera, despite me not liking being on camera, let me just see what it's worth. Let's just see what we can get from it. You feel me? But all in all, those are just a few tips I can say utilize. We've been on here for 21 minutes, so that's a good thing. We already moving in the right direction, and I'm not halfway, but I'm close to my destination, still 44 minutes away. And that was the whole point of me jumping on at the end of the day. So another thing we're gonna talk about, because I'm gonna go over a few different things. Like I said, I'm not just catered towards fitness anymore. I consider myself more motivational than anything when it comes down to it. So I'm definitely gonna throw some motivation out there. I actually did record a couple videos that I'm gonna post a little bit later to kind of keep people motivated. But the second thing we're gonna talk about is motivation, man. Like motivation and inspiration, man. My biggest thing is do what you do. ETA to that. Do what you do.